What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. It is Sade week. We have ranked the 6 studio albums of Sade. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure you go check it out. Today, as we do every week, we also give you our top 10 favorite songs of the artist we are discussing. We've each made our own top 10 lists, and we are going to give them to you now, starting with Cramser.
Yeah, starting with me, I was the least enthusiastic about Sade's discography, and I had to be honest, I am not really that crazy about any of these songs. I did like Love Deluxe as an album experience. My number 10, Pearls. Pearls and swine be rich. Different song, but this one's really nice. It's really calming presence to it. Feels like you're washed up on a shore. Just her voice, not trying to do too much. I think her voice is really applicable when it's kind of reined in, not going off the rails, not trying to be too seductive. And it has this really lovely humming strings in the back. Number 9, I've got Every Word. Groovy R&B, early 2000s flair, a little bit ruined by the production. Like, it's hard to get a top 10 songs list done and include a song where you just dislike the production, but the songwriting is strong enough here in her catalog to get it on here. I get the emotion, especially when she says, "I really trusted you." I think it's a really great piece of writing for her. Number 8, Nothing Can Come Between Us. Almost an old school kind of dance disco groove. I think the rhythm in her melody is really cool. I really like the twisting little bass part, and I think the male harmony in it is a really nice touch. Something I wish they had played around with a little bit more. It sounds really good together. Number 7, Haunt Me. Quite beautiful, a bit of a cool, like almost Spanish acoustic guitar flair. I like when she's saying that she'll be quiet. The way she does that is really good. There's not a lot of moments in her catalog where I think her performance is really over the top, like interesting, but I do like kind of the touches she does on Haunt Me. It's really ghostly and atmospheric with depth, something I think her other stuff can kind of get, kind of lacks. Number 6, Never As Good As the First Time. Cool groove, bass is cool, little guitar punctuating, like acting with percussion is a really nice touch. Number 5, When Am I Going to Make a Living? I like the lyrics a lot. I think it's a little bit more upbeat, which kind of suits the first album a good bit. I like the melody. I like the addition of the piano accents are nice, and the bass line is solid. It's kind of my theme here. Like when the bass is cool and the grooves are cool, it goes a long way for me. The slower stuff in the beginning of her career does not do it for me. Number 4, I've got the Sweetest Taboo. I like the bass. I like the groove. I actually really like the little guitar parts here. It's got kind of like that early 2000 or early 2000. No, nothing about the early 2000s and stuff I like, but it has like that almost like Berry Gordy kind of production with the guitar I like. Reminds me a little bit of like that early Michael Jackson vibe. Number 3, You're Not the Man. I think this is one of her better, like slow, shadowy, steamy, kind of sorrowful jazz numbers. Really nice, cool, slow pace to it. You can kind of just like picture her laying on a piano with a microphone with just like 40 people in a club belting it out. Number 2, I've got Punch Drunk. Piano is really strong. I just really like the way the band plays here. And I know that if you watch the album's video, I kind of knocked her singing, and this is an instrumental at number 2, but I actually do think the band is really tight here and it sounds really good. So I've got it pretty high. But my number 1 is War of Hearts. I really like the percussion. I like the loop backdrop is really nice. The keys kind of taking over, does most of the work. Her voice is right in her sweet spot. Like when she's on, for me, she's good. The sax sweeping in brings it all together, and the piano lead is really, really lovely. So my favorite Sade song is War of Hearts.
My top 10 now. Starting with number 10, I've got Cherish the Day. Super minimal. First chorus is just like drums, vocals, and this super subtle keyboard pad that I almost didn't even notice was there. So yeah, I like the minimalism of it. I think it's a really cool production approach. Number 9, I've got War of the Hearts. Great bass line, cool percussion. I love the conviction she has when she hits that chorus and sings "I'm Loaded." That's one of my favorite vocal deliveries of her in the catalog. Number 8, I've got Is It a Crime? Great horn arrangement. Love that huge build up into the chorus. And I really like those super 80s key sounds on that one. Number 7, I have Be That Easy, which is a cool, breezy acoustic ballad. I think it's a nice contrast to the more electronic stuff that they had been doing a lot of later in their career. And I love the chord progression. I think I seem to gravitate often to chord progressions where they go from the major to the minor chord consecutively, and this has a D to D minor change in it. Number 6, I've got In Another Time, which feels very classic, like a 50s doo-wop tune or like a Beach Boys ballad. Just a good piece of songwriting. I love the sax solo too and the strings that come in. Yeah, they could, like I said in the other video, they could have used a lot more of that on the later albums. And just the way the outro to this song is arranged is really great, I think. Number 5, I have Frankie's First Affair, which I think is a great tune. Stunning vocals. I love the way it lifts into the sax solo. Cram mentioned some of the records being a little light on dynamic shifts, and that's probably true, but I think that's a nice shift in intensity there. The way it elevates is really nice, and I like the percussion a lot on it as well. Number 4, I have I Couldn't Love You More. Like the production on this track a lot, very big and full sounding, while also being kind of sparse and leaving a lot of space for the vocals at the same time, which is excellent. Number 3, I have By Your Side. And this song just sounds like a hit, like within the first 2 seconds before she even says a word. Just that like little melodic thing that happens in the intro is just like, okay, this is a hit. So yeah, just good catchy songwriting, and her voice is really strong as always on it. Number 2, I have Your Love Is King, the lead single from the debut record. And I think for good reason. I think it tells you everything you need to know about Sade. It's smooth, sexy, cool, and really melodic. And then my number 1 is You're Not the Man. Love the jazzy feel here. Has a little bit of a singer-songwriter feel as well. And I think she sells the lyrics really well. Kind of heartbroken. There's all this sadness and disappointment in it. So,
all right, top 10 favorite Sade songs. Number 10, In Another Time. Like the waltzy old-fashioned feel to it. Really nice piano part, and Sade's wonderful vocals, even all the way in 2010. Number 9, Paradise. Just a strong groove. There's some male backing vocals that add a little heft to it. You got those big Latin Caribbean drums. Just a big, fun groove-based track from Stronger Than Pride. Number 8, Cherry Pie. The Sweetest Cherry Pie, I think, is a great earworm. Especially got that little funky guitar ringing out after, and an incessant groove to it. Number 7, Tar Baby. Just a sweet lullaby with a really strong message. I think really powerful lyrics from Sade there. Number 6, Maureen. Really great, like Motown, R&B influenced piano driving it. Got some, less adult contemporary yacht rock sax and more like classic old school R&B. Just a great ender there from Promise. Number 5, the song you guys hate, but I think is pretty great, Smooth Operator. I like the talking throughout the intros until she starts. You're not on camera, Crams, but T is thumbing down, and now he's flicking me off very aggressively. But I think the lyrics are great. She just rips into some douchey guy who thinks he's all that, and it's a fun song. Number 4, Hang On To Your Love. It's got a great head bopping groove thanks to a killer bass line that kind of reminds me of, like Billie Jean from Michael Jackson. Some funky guitar work on there. It just works together for a nice melange of sexy, smooth funk. Number 3, No Ordinary Love. It's a great change up into this icy, cold, almost like house 90s trip hop feel, a little Massive Attack vibes on it. Cool stormy guitar work throughout, a little heavier. Number 2, Sweetest Taboo. Sade just weaves a quiet storm here with her vocal work. It's very groovy, just some intermittent horn stabs. And mostly, it's just the drums and the bass and Sade, which is really all you need. Number 1, though, is going to be Is It a Crime? You got some louche and loungy horns kicking off the track. Very much in line with Diamond Life, but maybe a little more yacht rockish even. There's also a little organ underneath with adds just enough to differentiate it. I love that just shimmer, that long drawn out sound from the organ. And Sade's, some of her best vocal work, just so smoky and full of sensual power. And I don't know how Cramser couldn't like her vocals. I just think they're alluring and beautiful, and I could listen to her sing all day. It's the rest of the band that I think is just okay. But Sade rules.
All right, there you go. There's our top 10 favorite Sade songs. Let us know what you think of our list and leave your own down in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so, hit the bell for notifications, and check the video description for links to all of the relevant places, especially our Patreon. Check us out over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.